Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So this video is about where Charlie Kirk was wrong on immigration. So first of all, he said that the whole idea of a government was to put one's people first. That's incorrect. If you have a Christian theocracy, for example, you put the children of God first, and they may or may not be the people in your country. Just like in the Bible when God put the Assyrians and the Babylonians at different points above the Jews. A government simply governs. And it maintains order and has some kind of principle, and that principle isn't necessarily putting those people first. So he let his white conservative thinking cloud his judgment in regards to morality and in regards to what things are there for. And that's key there. This is somebody that people looked up to a large degree. He quite often used fancy words and vocabulary to try to further his cause. And he made the mistake a lot of people who were a lot more educated than he was made. And that is putting presentation and conformity above morality. It's important that people know that. Because to truly learn from what has occurred here with his murder, right, with him being murdered, one has to look at the situation and say, where was he right and where was he wrong? So the Bible says better is open rebuke than hidden love. Also, he went as far as to say that people shouldn't do something that they should do, which is have compassion for people in underdeveloped nations. The Bible says that which you did not do for the least of my brethren, you did not do for me. When you said that you should put government and people's country above people starving to death in other countries, you were not doing for the least of the brethren. You also weren't pointing them toward me. You keep pointing to the church, and everyone knows the churches are corrupt. The way is the truth and the life, not the churches that have sold out to the government institutions like Charlie Kirk sold out. He was Trump's, right hand, so to speak. He was Trump's helper. He wasn't my helper. And I'm Christ. I have a playlist that proves it definitively. Okay, so on top of that, when he was asked if there's a better solution than just closing the border and shutting the door to America in desperate people's faces after Americans and other developed nations have utterly trampled their countries with their foreign policies, he said that they should have Mexico shut their border too. Well, my region argument is much preferred. To create a region in America or regions where people can come here and they don't have birthright citizenships, right? Those regions aren't technically a part of America anymore. And it gives us time to decide what to do with them because the topic is more complex than people think. And people need a time to thoroughly discuss it and get to the bottom of it and decide what to do with these people and what is fair and what is just and what is right. Okay, and first you got to put morality first, and then you look at it and say, well, from there, what are people comfortable with? But it should be within the boundaries of righteousness and justice. You got to realize this is someone who has said that people should be deported for going against America's foreign policy interests. And that isn't just, people who quote unquote advocate for terrorists, and there's, they blur the line there all the time. But that's people who say things that are un-American while America's trying to brainwash the world. That is petty. That is evil. So this is a person who says things that are helpful at times, but he says things that are evil at times, that are not Christian. That are not moral. Why he claims to be a Christian, or why he claimed to be a Christian, excuse me.